second. Something with the audio. Hold on. Just making sure it's not monitored. Yeah, camera's on. Audio is not. Why is it not saying it?
But no sound.
There you go.
We're back. Welcome back, New Jersey football fans and any fans to the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. Mac,
Yes, Trib.
Coach Tim McAneney, Mark Trible, Rod Self in the studio, ready for action. 2 weeks left of the regular season.
It's crazy, right? I mean, it blurs now. Even
It flies by.
yeah, some teams are finishing up this. Some teams take advantage of their bye in that week. I guess 8, 9. I don't, with it being week 0, but it's some teams' last games of their seasons are next week before the playoffs start on that first week of November.
Most of the stuff this week, or most of the stuff that happens this week, is going to be the majority of the factor for playoff seeding. I think there's still things that'll change next week, but I think most of it is going to be added up. Some total coaches are going to have an idea of where they could be. Always exciting to go through the playoff brackets and all that stuff, which we'll do in a couple weeks.
There's always a guy or two on staff that has the calculus figured out, that knows if this team wins, that team wins. This is who we play.
Yeah.
It helps because then you can go scout, go see a game or two or start collecting some film. I mean, now it's a lot easier now with Huddle. You just click.
Yeah,
Bang.
but you're one of these guys. You got to smell them. You got to see them.
Got to be on the ground too. I like to see them. I like to be at the gate when they're walking out. I want to.
Yeah, how do they carry themselves?
I want to see their kickers and punters. I want to see the pregame. I want to see, the up close smell test, as they say. So I like. My wife would always be like, "You're going to scout a game. It starts at 7. What do you got to get there at 6:30 for?" I'm like, I want to see some things.
Always tell the story of a coach who went out to scout. He had a number 1 seed in the playoffs. He went out to scout potential opponent. I said to the coach, "They're terrible. I've seen them. They're horrible. Got to go see them. Got to go see them." Called me 4 minutes into the game. Said, "This team is horrible. This team's horrible. We got them." Trust what's out there. I know some guys like to see it up close, but if you're the 1 seed, sometimes, maybe you can
listen.
stay
I've been in the 1 seed spot where it's backfired. So
That's right.
yeah, I've played.
Not many 1 seeds have lost, but
well, when a Tom's River team comes up and shows up with a team that half the year their kids were suspended, and you're scratching your head going, "Where were these guys on film?" And Michael Husney's a quarterback.
That's right.
That's when an 8 beats a 1 every once in a while. 2014. So it happens.
It does. I'll tell you what else happens. The West Jersey Football Coaches Association sponsors this show. I want to give them a shout out. Established to promote, improve, and unite football in South Jersey. In less than 4 years, they've done just that. The Battle at the Beach is their event, and they've dedicated themselves to helping others with the proceeds from that event. They donate to the National Football Foundation. They also donate scholarships to the Touchdown Club of Southern New Jersey, of which I'm the president. We're very grateful for that. And they help put this show on. So thank you, West Jersey Football Coaches Association, for all that you do for football in South Jersey. Also got to shout out our buddy Dave O'Sullivan, the founder of South Jersey Glory Days. If you're watching this on Facebook, you're watching on his page. Tons of great content. My columns from Friday night are found there. So be sure to check out the website. Thank you, Sully. As always, I know Chris Baker, thank you for all that you do. You're here in the chat. We got some stuff to talk about, but first I want to talk about the game of the week I had last week, Mac. Washington Township 38, Rancocas Valley 17. We wondered if Savion Adams would play at quarterback for the Red Devils.
He did.
He did.
Yeah.
He came out. He looked, from a passing perspective, he looked great. It looked like maybe the offense hasn't been used to having somebody put the ball right on the money all game. It looked like there was some acclimation that could happen with some more reps.
Sure.
I think he was cleared in the middle of the week and comes out and plays. And really a back-and-forth game. Rancocas Valley drops a touchdown pass and throws an interception going in at halftime. If those things were different, and as Max said last week, if some butts were candy nuts would all Merry Christmas. If things were different, it would have been a very, very great game in the second half. As they were, you can't make mistakes against Washington Township.
No.
The story was the Minutemen, and the story continues to be the Minutemen in Group 5. This is a team that you get 2 rushing touchdowns from Colin Beeler. You get 2 rushing touchdowns from Andrew Osborne. You got Frank Holmes calling the offense, which Frank's happy to just run it however many times.
50 plus.
As many snaps as there are in the game.
As many they'll let him.
He's good with that. It certainly works. They don't beat themselves. They can pass the ball. They can run the ball. They force turnovers. Parker Reese runs in a fumble. They score on turnovers. Their special teams are great. They are every bit as advertised as the team to beat in Group 5 in the South and Central Jersey, man.
They're very. We've talked about them coming up each year, and just the township. It's a snowball, right? Yeah. They're getting better and better, and you know what happens? The more they win, the more they win, the more they win.
Right.
Like it just winning begets winning, which begets winning, which is like it's not about are we going to this week? It's how are we going to win this week, and not in this cocky or an overconfident way of like, we're going to line up, we're going to play 48 minutes, and we're going to win the game. And yeah, we might be losing at one point, and there's things that might happen, but we're going to win because now their program, we talked, it's overused a lot, but culture and saying, hey, these are the things we need to do. And then once, you see it in you see in teams when you, like the sharks in the water, so to speak, once RV, Savion Adams comes back. Tough spot, right? Gets cleared midweek. Maybe he's throwing the ball the last couple weeks, right? Maybe, but he's not. He's not cleared. He's not in the offense. He's not in the rhythm of it. And then maybe you're trying to do some things. You probably maybe force some things, but then Township gets a hold of. There's the blood in the water, right? The turnover, the knots they get. They know they can salt a game down whenever they want.
Yes.
I mean, I'll go back to the olden days, but here's a Pennsauken reference, right? Once Pennsauken High got up 14 points, game was over.
Right.
It was over. Like they could run the ball. My dad loved running the ball. They had guys who could do it. They usually had a big fullback. Usually the name was Severian, from 1978 to 90, whatever. And then, the plethora of backs that went through there, they just 4 or 5 yards, salt a game, done, over. Plus, people forget. I mean, Pete Tate, our defensive coordinator at Pennsauken all those years. So my point is, in those games and playoff type games, fourth quarter, multiple score leads, they're going to move the chains, they're going to eat the clock, and they're going to play tough defense. And you know what? They're not afraid to punt either. So all those things together. You're on the other sideline. You're starting to go, oh my God, this thing's 14. This thing, 17. You're donezo.
Right. It's very true, Mac.
And you were there.
And I was there, and it was a workmanlike performance. I think one thing Coach Lucas on the RV sideline said is like looking at building my program and looking at what's across the street or across the sideline there. It's the senior leadership that
Certainly.
The adversity. How are your guys going to deal with that when you've been there, done that, and not just you've been there, done that as a rotational player, or there's one guy. I mean, you've had several guys here who have played since their sophomore year, have gotten a lot of reps, some even as freshmen, who by now there's nothing that's going to happen out there that throws them off, right? They've been behind, they've been ahead, they've been penalized, all these different things that have happened. And they just take it one play at a time and handle their business. So at this point in time, if you're on the Rancocas Valley sideline, you think, well, guys, let's look at this first half. A couple things go a different way. We're right there with a team that is the favorite, I would say. Hang in there. We're going to get better with Savion back, and we can improve things. Now, the other thing is they have a very tough game this week.
Yes.
So the challenge for Coach Lucas is make sure everybody stays and knows that, these things are still in front of us, even if that was the result on Friday. For Washington Township, they also have a tough game this week we're going to talk about down the line here, where it's another opportunity to put the pen to paper and put it on the resume and get ready for.
Right.
Really, we've mentioned this in the past. I don't want to say this for Group 5 specifically this year because, seeding's different this year with the Northern numbers and how they're doing it. We'll talk about that too. But you come through when the playoffs start as a top seed, you may have 2 games where you're a big-time favorite. I mean, you may run through a team. You might not be playing Toms River North, right?
No.
So it's about, and we talked about this
No.
before when it came to Group 4 the last couple of years when we talked about, well, we kind of think Millville and Winslow play in a month. They just have to be sharp when they play in a month because they don't need their sharpest effort to win those games. I'm not saying that's the case in Group 5, and Kevin Minnick's exactly right. They have a big game this week against Kingsway, which will decide a lot in those Group 5 playoffs. But they have to maintain the ability to just continue to go one play at a time. And looking at the senior leadership, looking at Coach Schatzman, what they've done, I just couldn't be more impressed with how well-rounded they are and what they can do at any point in time.
Yeah, I mean, that, as I said earlier, that's culture, that's program. I mean, there's overused things, but the kids, playing young, getting kids to play when they're young. None of us wanted to start freshmen and sophomores, right? But when they do end up getting on the field and playing, it's nice a couple years later that they've had that many games under their belt. And look, RV, you lose games, right? I mean, that happens. And they lost to a good football team. So that's the challenge. Coach Lucas has to spin it back and say, look, that's a really good football team. I mean, I'll argue, Kingsway, RV. I mean, you're really, you're looking at probably the three of the top. They're the top in the Group 5.
Atlantic City
and AC. Yeah. So Eastern, but I mean,
But you lose 3 games in a row. You play St. Augustine on the road this week. You have to be able to keep it together, and I have no doubt they'll be able to do that. But I just mean from the perspective of if they're 3-4 after this week, they're better than a 3-4 team, but they have to know that too. Right.
Well,
it's not Parcells.
URV record says.
I don't think so.
Well,
in their case, I mean, their quarterback's been out all year.
No, I mean, look, we've talked about too how West Jersey does the scheduling too. They kind of want to SEC it. They want teams to have to go through that. They want the equality in the schedules and the parity. And with equality and parity comes losses, right? If you're playing monsters every week.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the schedules on the really good teams in South Jersey, they're playing monsters each and every week. They're all playing each other. Someone's going to have 2-3 losses. Now nobody wants, again, you don't want any losses, but a 3-4, we've seen in other years, right? Teams going limp into the playoff, not limp in, but going through 3-4 losses and go roll out and win regionals, win the sectional, and then win regional. Yeah. So it happens.
Kevin Minnick mentioned Sayreville, another powerhouse in 5 this year. And Kevin Emmett says, not long ago, Group 5 was the SEC of South Jersey football. When you were coaching, there was, RV, Cherokee, yourself. I mean, it was loaded. I think now we're back to a point where the top of Group 5 is very strong. There were a couple of years where Group 4 was stronger. There's no doubt.
Well, look, the one year in 16 when we dipped down the one time to play in 16.
Yeah.
Creek was. Timber Creek was so. I mean, we were borderline of 4 or 5 that year, and then went back up to 5. Toms River North was part of it. You could go on, and it depends on what teams. Highlands had some. I think Highland was a 4 back in 16. So but the 4, the 5. There's that handful of those teams that come playoff time, they've been tested, they do it, and now Township is now. Back, they would say, Coach would say, we're where now I hate to use the word should, but they're where there should be. So Township.
They win a sectional final last year. They lose to Toms River North, who obviously had a dominant run. So they expected the beginning of the season. The expectations are we have the team here to compete for and win the state championship. So we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, because I mean, last year they ran into, you run into Towns River North always has a bust, but when you have the best player in the world on our team, well, this side of the world.
The other portion, Mac, I want to mention here before we go to break and come back and review what happened last week is the way this playoff seeding works this season. In that,
do you know it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
as best I can tell from some very reliable sources. And if I'm wrong, Kevin Minnick will correct me. It's one thing I know from Kevin.
The fact
he's got it right.
If you can explain what northing is, then everybody will be excited. Yeah. Go ahead.
The way I understand it is the top 16 teams in the South and Central will be, the top 16 teams. The 1 seed in that ranking will be wherever they usually belong.
South or Central.
South or Central. And the 2nd seed of those 16 will be the 1 seed in the opposite side. So, for example, if Washington Township is the 1 seed in Group 5, they'll be the 1 seed in South. And whoever number 2 is will be the 1 seed in Central. Then from there, everything will be decided on northernmost to southernmost. So
they're trying.
The seeding will remain, right? Like it'll remain. The seeding differentials will remain, if that makes sense. Like 2, 3, 4. Like you won't jump somebody you shouldn't be ahead of. But if you're far south, you're going to be in the South. If you're in the Central, you're going to be in the Central. Doesn't matter if you're 5th overall. If you're the 2nd best team in Central numbers, you're going to be in the Central. You can be the 2 seed there.
Right. So they take the 16 and they figure out of those 16, one's on, to your point, let's say Washington Township, they're in the South.
Sorry, Kevin says the top seed goes to the Central.
So automatic, 1 goes to the Central.
That's what he's saying. So
I think I read that too.
Based on UPR. So that's the way it is.
Yeah, I think I read that. I geeked it out and went on to the. No offense, Kev. I know you geeked it out too. So yeah, I knew
whatever you read, Kevin probably wrote. So.
True. So he goes. So the one goes to Central.
Yes.
The 2nd seed will go South, and then they'll be seeded accordingly to northern numbers. The northern being the most northern teams going into the Central for us, and the lower numbers, least northern, will be in the South. Well, what's that? I guess that what it does is it basically it gives you the. If you're a South Jersey guy, you're saying, well, give some Central teams a chance maybe to win a sectional. But it's the state's understanding that in South, just for that case, like a Group 1 in South, Group 1. The Group 1 number 1 seed's going to be Glassboro, probably, right? Mm-hmm. And they'll be the number 1 in the Central. And the number 1 seed in the South will be that next seeded team, which will be another Southern team, correct?
Right. So, the reason for this was to alleviate travel, essentially, for everybody to have to go from here to here, all over the place. I think it's all bogus.
Well, I
think they should just do what they did last year. I thought everything was in a good spot.
We can debate this, but
it's the playoffs.
If you're alleviating travel, why do you?
You're not alleviating travel for everyone in this system.
Correct.
Just people who play select games.
Right.
You're saying, okay, so.
So the number 1 seed who is going into the Central,
right,
has to travel the most.
They're at home, but
they're
everybody
home.
Who plays
everybody's got to come
travel.
So the Central, that bracket's traveling because if they're going to play, say, Township, who's the number 1 in the Central, we're using that as an example. Everybody's got to go down to Township. Yeah. So you're really not
alleviating travel.
You're not really alleviating travel. What I think I liked it because they're basically still saying, all right, we still want the top 2 teams away from each other. So they do, if the chalk wins, they want.
I like that part of it.
Yeah, those 2 teams play in the Southern Championship to go to the state championship.
Yeah, if they just did it South and Central and broke it up, but said it's going to be 1 through 8 in the Central, 1 through 8 in the South. Doesn't matter who's 1 and 2. That would be much worse. That would be going backwards to what we had before and it made no sense. So,
Well, it made no sense. Well, it was nobody really quote unquote cared because you didn't play you didn't play for a state title. There wasn't a semifinal game. I mean, yes, we had the bowl games for a couple of years, but when you won the South Jersey Championship in the past, the South Jersey Sectional, which we would call the state championship because it was the end. I don't know, but you weren't playing the winner of the Central, so you really didn't.
Well, the frustrating part, and Kevin alludes to it, is you have to, when you think about it, you can't think about South and Central. Unfortunately, that's what they're called.
Well,
so why don't we call them something else?
Kev, I said
3 and 4.
I said that last year. Call it red, blue, green, and orange.
South 1, South 2. Yeah, exactly.
South 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to appease the whole Central thing, and that's what confuses everything.
It's North 1,
South
North
1,
South 1,
2.
South 2, North 1, North 2. Why do we
That's it.
have to call it Central?
Because New Jersey has a Central New Jersey. For sports in this situation, we don't really need that.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of other sports. I know with my kids' other sport, lacrosse, it's North and South. It's not. There's not even Central or North 1 and North 2. So yes, we know for other sports, baseball, basketball, etc. There's North 1. Why don't we? Can you petition the state? Can we just have to Rod's point? North 1, North 2, South 1, South 2.
I would love that.
That's all it should be.
You know what we're going to do on this show? We might call Central from now on South 1. We just do that. You have to ask your guy.
Yeah, I have to see.
You have to ask your guy.
I know the state met today and made some rulings and talked about some things. So unfortunately, we might be a little bit late. But
you got some speed dial guys there, don't you?
I agree. I agree, Dwayne and Kevin. Seed the group 1 through 32, all regions. Play it out.
Texas style.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, Texas still has East and West, though, right? Do they still do East and West in Texas?
I don't know.
I think
they make one bracket.
You sure?
I believe so.
Okay, because I thought they used to separate the state and play East versus West in the state final.
The travel isn't really that much travel, dude.
It's Jersey.
Well,
the state's this big.
When I was younger in Mississippi, it was that way. So we would travel 2 hours for a game, and that's normal.
And everybody would get on the buses, right?
We just put the kids on a bus.
And the fan buses would go.
That's it.
And then during the regular season, you go, guess what? Get home field advantage because then they come to you.
Right. But you think of most games for the playoffs are Friday night, Saturday. It's not like you have to get up and go to school the next day. So, I mean, you get home a little later, but.
No, I get it. I mean, if the one that I like the snake draft of South and Central now versus and North 1 and 2. I'm okay with having not traveling up and down the state to 1 to 32. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that, but I would prefer it be 1 through 16. True snake, like it was.
Yeah, like it was.
If you're going to do that, and then I would say, really, what I would like to do is when you get to the state Final Four, I would reseed 1 through 4 there based on points. And that way you get 1 versus 4 and 2 versus 3.
Oh, you don't want the 2 South. I got you.
I don't think it has to be South versus South. I think it could be, or you can split it up every year and just say North 1's going to play South 1, North 2's going to play South 2. They'll alternate home sites.
You just renamed it right there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did because of what you said.
Yeah.
So if you do that, I think that would be great because then you get North versus South in the semis and potentially the championship.
Correct.
Or if the two most deserving teams are both North or South, they play in the state championship. Great.
Correct.
They don't have to knock each other out. I mean, last year the two best teams in Group 4 were very clearly Millville and Winslow.
Right.
They played a classic game in the semifinal. Then Millville won by, God knows how many points in the championship. So the state championship was the semifinal.
I know, but Colleen McGuire could say the Dodgers and the Phillies are the two best teams in Major League Baseball, too.
She'd be wrong. The Mariners are making a case, my friend. They can score runs. Believe that? 10 runs in a game, a playoff game. I don't think Philly scratched across 10 in the whole series. I don't even think they did half of 10.
They outscored the Dodgers.
Yeah, they did.
Whatever that word.
All right, that's enough for this edition of the playoff speak. We're going to talk about it more next week. We're going to talk about it the week after that. Go ahead,
Rod. You got a fixer?
No, I just have something funny. My wife. This is about the Phillies. You were on that topic. We were watching the game, And she goes, they should have saved some of those runs the other night for this game.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't
Rod,
really save
story
it.
of the Phillies.
Rod,
It's a smart woman, though.
Rod, this is a true story. 1993, we were at my buddy. We were all in a house. You'll go to break on this one. We had a friend, a buddy's girlfriend asked. It was Game 6 against the Blue Jays on the infamous Joe Carter home run, and she says, "Oh, why don't they just pitch the guy who pitched the night before, which was Schilling, Game 5?" She's like, "He did such a good job." I was a little younger then and a little more Phillied up, and I said, I asked her politely, "I think you have to leave.
You have to leave.
I think, or at least leave this room. This is purely the degenerate Philly fan room."
Yeah, it still is.
There you go.
It's still this room. We got a lot to cover from last week and looking forward. Be sure to share the show out and stay tuned. We'll be back right after these words from our sponsors. The West Jersey Football Coaches Association was established to promote, improve, and unite football in South Jersey. In less than 4 years, the association created the Battle at the Beach and has dedicated itself to helping others. The association has donated close to $100,000 to date to provide scholarships through the National Football Foundation and the Touchdown Club of Southern New Jersey. The group has also donated to the charity Philly Faces, which helps those in need of facial reconstruction surgery. Thank you to the West Jersey Football Coaches Association for their sponsorship of the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by Capstone Medical Services, a dedicated team of experienced healthcare professionals with a strong presence at the youth, middle school, high school, collegiate, and post-collegiate levels. They specialize in athletic training services and sports medicine for youth, high school, collegiate, and adult sports, event EMT and paramedic coverage for events and gatherings of all types and sizes, ensuring everyone's safety, injury prevention and workplace injury programs for commercial and industrial organizations, American Red Cross training, ideal for coaches, youth group leaders, church organizations, businesses of all sizes, and school districts. At Capstone, they are committed to delivering exceptional medical services that exceed expectations. No team will work harder or more passionately for you or your athletes. They proudly serve athletes of all ages, schools, businesses, and event organizers, ensuring the health and safety of every individual in every setting. Whether on the field, at work, or during special events, Capstone's here to protect, support, and serve because your safety is our top priority. To learn how Capstone Medical Services can support your school, organization, or event, call 855-EVENT-CMS or visit capstonemedicalservices.com. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by SRA Home Products. South Jersey, let me tell you about my friends over at SRA Home Products. SRA has been building sunrooms, pergolas, and patio covers for over 25 years. They've built more than 9,000 projects in the Delaware Valley alone. And I've had the opportunity to be around Mike Fody, the owner, and I have nothing but the best things to say about Mike and his crew. SRA is a gold-accredited member of the Better Business Bureau under the elite provider status with Home Advisor, and they've racked up a number of Best of South Jersey awards in the past. They also contribute to multiple sport associations and are huge supporters of Williamstown football. Find them online at srahomeproducts.com.
Enthusiastic about football? Become a part of the NJFOA South Football Association and team up with us to officiate high school football. Join us on the field. Our cadet class kicks off in March. Register on our website or by scanning the QR code in this ad. Put the stripes on and join us on the gridiron today.
Welcome back, sports fans. I mean, now we got baseball, we got football, we got everybody in here to the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. We're going to run through what happened last week. A lot of great action. Starting Thursday night, you had Paulsboro beats Pennsville 44-32. Florence 42, Pemberton 36. I want to give a shout out to Nasir Moore, 17 carries, 151, 2 touchdowns for the Flashes. Julien Jean-Baptiste added on 3 rushing touchdowns. Maple Shade beats Pittman 32-9. Pleasantville shuts out Oakcrest 42-0. Takias Barnes, I know I may not have pronounced that correctly, but one thing I can pronounce correctly is how many yards and touchdowns he had. 11 carries, 197, 2 touchdowns. Nazir Griffin added 99 on the ground and a couple more scores. Cherry Hill East wins a battle of the boot against their crosstown rival Cherry Hill West. Ryan Moyer, 3 rushing touchdowns. Dylan Haddock ran for a score and had a sack and a half. Cedar Creek keeps rolling. They beat Lower Cape May 42-0. Amir Dunbar 170 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Delsey, rough week for Delsey. They had to play on Monday against Millville. They had to play on Thursday against Holy Spirit. That's not easy to overcome.
No.
Especially against a good Spartans team. Ty Costabile throws for 253 and 4 touchdowns. Amir Hicks runs for 3 touchdowns. Emmanuel Garina, 6 receptions, 162, and 3 touchdowns as Spirit wins 45-7. Haddon Township beats Mastery Charter 28-14. Haddon Heights beats Woodstown 27-6. Paul to 6 with 3 rushing touchdowns from Nate Klecko beats Notre Dame 27-0. Friday, Mac, you were there, 36-19. Shawnee beats Pennsauken, your old stomping grounds, or your dad's old stomping grounds, however you want to classify it.
I actually stomped around there
You
a little
stomped.
bit. Well,
You stomped.
Look, that was our home. That was stomping. That was our home field at Bishop Eustis up until 2000 and I forget the exact date, but maybe even a little earlier than that. But that was where we played our home games as a player, and I coached them. I was saying to people in the stands, it was interesting, well, when someone asked, because a lot of people they didn't know, they're not really.
So they walked in and saw your dad's McAneney's name on
and
the
I had one guy
stadium.
actually say to me, "Is that the same?" I'm like,
Are you related to that?
It's not Smith or Jones, and I kind of look like the guy on the rock, right? A little bit, similar hair, similar everything. Someone asked me that. I said, yeah, a little bit. Anyway, it was good to be back. They've done an unbelievable job. That place is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But I also last time I coached on that field was I think 2004 or 5. I mean, when I was coaching Bishop Eustis. So it was. I just some quick math here. I don't know if you read the stats yet. I'm looking down.
They're unbelievable. I'm saying you're talking about who's stomping around. How about Cole Anderson, Tyler Nichols, and Brett Lundberg?
Yeah, that's 400 yards, isn't it?
141 on 13 carries for Anderson, 2 scores. Nichols, 4 carries, 115, 2 touchdowns. We talk about yards per carry. I mean, he blew it up. And then Lundberg, 22 for 153 and 1 touchdown. Did they throw a pass in this game?
They didn't have to. And
They didn't have to.
that's 400 and some odd yards. But here's the thing. Nichols, I've seen Nichols now, obviously every week, right? I go to the Shawnee games. This kid per touch with his kickoffs, his yard, his all-purpose.
He's a game breaker.
I mean, he's averaging 50 yards per touch. It seems like
a game breaker.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the number guy, but Mike, I mean, I can do some division. Yes, he's a game breaker. He's speed, running away at Pennsauken against Pennsauken at Pennsauken. Anderson just continues to impress me. Tough kid.
Yeah.
He's only a sophomore. Lowers his shoulder every time. Every time I'm sitting there as an old coach going, get out of bounds, right? And his pop's the old D coordinator, so he puts his shoulder down a lot. And then the Lundberg, I don't want to say quietly, but by the way, 22 yards, 22 carries, 153 yards.
3-headed attack for Renegades there.
Well, I think that was the plan going into the season, and with Lundberg being out the first 4 or 6 weeks, the offense really was missing a spoke, as they say. But I mean, defensively too. I mean, Michael Bartasius, I think he's had,
he has a pick every game.
That's
They had
what
another pick.
Hey, another pick, and
Unbelievable.
I think he had a fumble recovery. Chris will know the numbers.
He's all around the ball.
He's always to the ball, Michael. And he's got at least 4 picks, maybe 5, and he's got, I think, 2 or 3 fumble recoveries on his own, not even on his defense. So that just tells me, to your point, he's around the ball. He makes take most of the opportunity. He had that big pick 6 against Camden High a couple weeks back. So people who aren't watching are asking, Shawnee's 3-3. I'm like, they're a funky 3-3, right? Like they lost 3 games by a total of 5 points.
4-3 now, right?
4-3, excuse me. 4-3. The 3 losses are by 5 points. And, 3 to RV, 1 opening day, lost by 1 opening day, and the other loss to, it's blanking me here.
Cherokee?
Yes. Cherokee going for the 2-point conversion, having the lead at the end there.
10 per carry for Nichols per Kevin Minnick. That's they should call them dimes.
Yeah, but he's probably Nichols becomes dimes. But hey, Kev, let me ask you: is it 10 per touch? I mean, is he counting his kick returns?
I don't know.
I mean, he had three kickoff / punt returns against Lenape.
I don't know the answer to that. We'll get that from Kevin, but
I put it this way: he's dangerous.
yeah, impressive win.
Yeah.
36-19.
Yeah. It was an impressive win. Pennsauken's a really good team. RJ Blunt's a really good player, fun to watch. But just Shawnee was just bigger and stronger up front. Just controlled the line of scrimmage, both sides.
Here's a story that's developed the last couple weeks. I think we got to acknowledge it. I mean, Williamstown beats Cherokee 21-14. Trey Alexander, Tyson Foreman, Elijah Campbell each score. A Williamstown team that putting it together now, beat Rancocas Valley the week prior, beats Cherokee. They're feeling really good. A young team that, I don't know how the rest of this year is going to play out, but I do know this. There's some names here we're going to be talking about moving forward.
No doubt.
For Williamstown.
And I'm not in any office or any coach's staff's room, but Willie, they were Coach Fuse and boys are licking their chops looking at Cherokee coming off of the crazy emotional win. Cherokee has the emotional loss at the end of the game the prior week before before Shawnee. They beat Shawnee going for 2 at the end after a drive where Birdie takes them 80 or whatever, 80 to win the game and or take the win on the 2-pointer. And now it's that quintessential trap thing, right? And then the kids look at that. They do well. They beat them, and these beat these, and Shawnee dominated. Shawnee dominated, not dominated, but Shawnee beat Williamstown, and now all of a sudden, you get people going, they start, and then Williamstown, bang, bang, 2 weeks in a row.
Williamstown also, I mean, as Walter says here in the chat, very physical team. They played with Washington Township physically for a period of that game. They're just young. I mean, they're just young, and you can see they're getting better as the year goes on, Rod.
Yeah, most of this core group has been together, through the youth program.
Yep.
So them starting last year as freshmen, them getting Tyson Foreman as a quarterback. He's now a sophomore this year. He started at Camden Eastside and then came back to Williamstown. They have the structure. Next year, I think it's really going to be their year.
Yeah.
But this year, they're starting to blossom a lot earlier than I thought. I mean,
don't make some noise. I mean, look,
they're not a team you want to see.
No, no doubt. And look, Fuse, it's like he's gotten to the point. Well, he was at this point, but now coming back the next time, he's like proven that he's done it. He's done it.
Yeah.
And well, the kids, I don't like to do this or I don't like to do that. And he's like, look, this is the formula here.
But what really helps him with that is the fact that some of the star players, their siblings have already come through the program with Alexander, and then you have Ezeraku, and then even with Campbell, he's everybody knows about that. So it's kind of like he has the pieces. They're just they're starting to really develop. That was a huge win last week when they beat RV.
Yeah.
That was huge for their confidence. I saw those, some of the guys around. Sure. I mean, that was a huge.
I mean, you got Fuse going, look, dude, this is, trust me, right? Like, trust. And kids always, it's always to get over that hump, that difficult hump of where, trust me, they walk around that. I mean, they got a cool setup down there, as we know, right? Yeah. They got that field house, they got that weight room. There's a lot of reminders when you go get dressed before every practice, before every game, that there's a lot of people that walk these halls and this room before you that figured out with this staff, with the guys there, that, and they can almost a little bit like, hey, our way or the highway.
Yeah, and you know what? Like the amount of talent that's there was clear when they were going through their run. I mean, you look at you look back at that team and you think, wow, some of those teams were loaded.
They were loaded.
But without the talent, or even some of the talent, you still saw like you still need that infrastructure. You need, and Coach Fusatola knows the formula. Obviously, he had it before.
Yeah,
they have a big staff. They've got some guys have come back, like John Wood, who's on the staff now, is helping out, and Seidenberg's back, and then it's the talent and the infrastructure, and you're seeing it pay off now with some wins, because there's other places it's not easy to just go back and restart it, right? You got to have the base of, they got some dudes down there from Monroe Township.
Football's hard, right? I mean, football is hard. And, moms, dads, relatives, what have you, it's easy to the old watch the point because you got 4 point. My dad used to say, watch where you're pointing because you got three pointing back at you, when you start pointing that finger. It's a hard sport. You got to practice hard. Yeah. You got to off season hard. You got to do all that stuff. And kids sometimes see, is the grass greener, right? Is the grass greener? Mm-hmm. Look, I don't, I'm getting coached. I mean, nowadays when you look and you ask a coach, what does he want? Like, yeah, we want talent, but I don't want to say talent's easy to find, but when you get the talent, you need kids that are coachable too. Like, right? Kids that are good want to be great, right? Kids who are great want to be elite. You want those guys. Yeah. And even the kids who are okay, that just want to be good, coachable.
That's a very key point, right? Like
that's one of the, within me saying the youth part of it, the youth program has been really good. They've also had good coaches and fathers to kind of keep those guys together.
Yes.
And it's huge for that. It's great to see Williamstown back.
And they have a lot of, and as is mentioned here, and I agree with you, Kevin Emmons, I do think it's one of the best places to see a game. And when you go to that game, you can see the things that those people in the community, like they take a lot of pride in being Williamstown.
Williamstown cares.
And they care. That's starts at those are guys that, they care. I mean, they want to win. Every community wants to win, right?
Do they?
Well, some of them. But they're starting kids young. They want Williamstown to be good because,
right.
And that's how it works. So, big win again for Williamstown. A couple big wins for them back to back.
Last thing, a lot of people don't, we used to say in our place, a lot of people don't like to see or want to know how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
It's a tough sport. And guess what? If Johnny's not starting for the team, Johnny's not good enough to start. What camera am I looking at? You're not good enough, Johnny. Get better.
You heard him, Johnny.
Well, because the coaches are going to play the kids that do the job and are coachable and are the better players.
Yeah.
Get better, Johnny.
Get better, Johnny. Sal Marquez, future St. Joe Academy coach and former Delsey coach, is the OC, and he's helping Williamstown as well put things together this year as when he's calling the plays. Another rivalry game, Kingsway and Clearview. Kingsway rolls 63-0. Golden Nick, 5 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown if you had him in fantasy. Or if you had Delran's defense, let's talk about them. 49-0 over Pensgrove. 2 pick sixes, a scoop and score, and a punt return touchdown. St. Augustine 27, Lenape zip. Roman Coney, one of the best running backs in the area, 22 carries, 151, 2 touchdowns. I saw my guy Kamal in the YouTube chat. Oh, shout out to you, man. The Battle of the Vikings goes your way. Atlantic City 26, Eastern 7. Marvin Burrows throws for 278, 2 touchdowns. Tamir Rex, 5 receptions, 136, and 2 scores. I want to give a shout out. We gave a shout out last week to Lindenwold for the performance by their wide receiver, and this week we give him another shout out. Lindenwold 38-18. Scott McNair gets his first win as head coach in his second season as coach. Congratulations to the Lions and Scott McNair. Trenton beats Northern Burlington 28-22. Ocean City shuts out Middle Township 48-0. Triton beats Highland 21-7. John Pettigrew and Jake Mannion each run for a touchdown for the Mustangs in that rivalry clash. Cumberland 27, Deptford 6. Sterling 21, Clayton 6. Jermaine Stewart does it on both sides of the ball. He runs for a touchdown and he has a scoop and score. Glassboro continues to do what they've been doing, 42-0, scoring a lot of points, giving up nothing. Jack O'Connell, 230 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Xavier Saab, congratulations on making the All-American game, Mr. Saab. 7 receptions, 126, 2 touchdowns. Mekhi Parker, 2 receiving touchdowns. Mainland, 55, Egg Harbor Township, 6. John Franchini, great game for him, 208 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. And Nate Cashie, one of the best kickers in South Jersey, becomes the state's all-time extra point leader with 200. Bordentown, 47, Riverside, 8. Thomas Lee accounts for all 4 touchdowns. He threw for 3, ran for 1. Audubon, 31, Collingswood, 12. Dylan Hoff runs for 2 for the Green Wave. And Mike Aversa with a pick 6. Seneca, 31, Hamilton, 15. Anthony Tirico, 20 of 28, 308, 2 touchdowns, 9 carries, 108, a touchdown. That's 416 yards of offense for Mr. Tirico.
Yeah, he does a good job.
He does an excellent job.
Yeah.
One of South Jersey's best quarterbacks.
No doubt.
Gloucester, 34, Shalleck, 6. Ibby Hudwell, 15 carries, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ashton Wallen, defense, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Nico Howard with a pick 6 for the Lions. Robbinsville, 33, Morristown, 25. Bridgeton beats Absegami, 35-21. Big game for Jeremiah Russell, 2 receiving touchdowns. Dante Howe threw them to him and also ran for 2 more. Axel Bailey, guy shows up every week for Overbrook, 34-20. They beat Camden Catholic. He goes 16 carries, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Eustis and Holy Cross, the Mac Bowl, another Mac Bowl. I mean, all these games is somehow you and your dad, your brother, your cousins, they're all connected. They're playing each other every week.
True.
The West Jersey Football League, when they schedule, they say, with the crossovers, we got to have Mac Bowls.
True.
Bishop Eustis, where my esteemed colleague played, and Holy Cross, where he coached.
I coached at the other place at Eustis as well.
Well, I like to think of you more as a linebacker than I do as a coach. 28-12.
Thanks, Trip.
Roman Faola, 2 rushing touchdowns. Saturday, Winslow shuts out Eastside 50-0. Jalen Parker, ho-hum, 17-29, 198, 4 touchdowns. Boomer Helton, 6 receptions, 118, 2 touchdowns. News out of Winslow, interesting to watch, where Mr. Peterson's going to go to college because now Mr. Franklin's no longer at Penn State. He reopened his recruitment. Sorry again, James Franklin, for taking that picture with you. Everything's went downhill ever since. But, you know, if you want to find a way for us both to make $1,000 an hour sitting around, that'd be great. Burlington Township, 28-14 over Hopewell Valley. Eddie McNair, 167 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Aiden Binns, 20 carries, 130, 2 scores. Burlington City, 24. Lawrence, 13. Dante Davis, another big game for him. 23 carries, 148, 2 touchdowns. Zamir Davis and Cole Paskowitz combined for about 300 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns as West Deptford beats Salem 25-7. Gateway, 45, Gloucester Catholic 7. Kip, 34, Wildwood 7. Torrey Jones runs for a touchdown. He has scoop and score. I saw that play. It's not one of our knots of the week, but did you see that play, Ron?
No, I didn't get a chance to see it.
Well, I mean, it's a hook and ladder to the tackle inside the in a goal to go situation, and Torrey or a teammate deflected that ball and picked it up and ran all the way in. So I don't think. I mean, I don't have.
Is it hook and lateral or hook and ladder?
It's either way.
All right.
Hook and lateral.
I think it's hook and lateral, but
I think it is hook and lateral. But you know, to the tackle, it was a crazy play. That's all I'm going to say. I saw it.
That's Rod.
I can't believe
this is Rod saying, "Max, stop saying stupid stuff."
No, I'm not that. I was just, you know, it's the play.
It was
hook and lateral.
Where was it again?
Don't worry about it.
It was St. Joe. No, it was Kip Cooper against Wildwood.
Down the shore.
Down the shore.
Right. St. Joe Hamilton 13, ACIT 12.
Sure, Michael, Rod.
Rod's lost it. We've all lost it a little bit. Nathan Weldon, Anthony Salamone each run for touchdown for St. Joe Hamilton. Knots of the week, we got some good ones, Rod. I want to save the long one. You know what I'm talking about for last. So let's go ahead and cue this up. Location, location, location. There's no better location than the football field, but for all your other real estate needs, call Ashley Franchini. Do not make a mistake when you're looking for real estate, folks. Reach out to Ashley at 609-233-6116 or at francinirealestate.com. Thank you, Ashley, for sponsoring the Knots of the Week. All right, folks, here we go. Let's go ahead and start off here with our guy, Austin Morrissey at Cherry Hill East. Picks this off, runs it in, bow the boot. The Cougars get the win. Big one for Mr. Morrissey. Thanks, Coach, for sending this one in. Let's see what we have next. Here we go, Audubon. Micah Versa, a 60-yard pick six to seal the game against Collingswood. A big win for the Green Wave.
Get to the sideline.
Get to the sideline, Max.
Get to the sideline. Great run back, but at that point, get to the sideline.
How about Maple Shade linebacker, though? He's up next, Nick Stanton. Now, they beat Pittman 32-9. Right over the middle there, sees the ball, gets the ball.
Get to the sideline. Get to the
runs
sideline.
it in.
Good. Don't put your hand up.
And now number one this week
and no rolling
is
in.
Delran, because Delran has 4 knots. First off, you have Justin Mary Jr. Okay, I'll take that. Right? Okay, I got it. Tip drill.
Tips and overthrows.
40-yard interception return.
Tips and overthrows.
So who wants to get in on the action next? Well, let's say it's Giovanni Marshall Edwards, I believe. So, they're at the Den where they serve a great cheeseburger, and he takes that one. That's Cookie. He takes that in the house, right? 2 pick sixes.
Who's Delran playing here?
Pensgrove.
Got it.
Micah Davison is next. We got a punt. Mike is going to field this thing at the 49. He's going to grab it, and he is going to take it into the house. Another knot.
Left hand, Micah.
Put it in the left hand, like our guy T-Bird. Last but not least, Anthony Yates.
How old do I sound, Rod? I'm yelling at film.
Anthony Yates, ball's on the ground. Let me get in on that action. Bounces right to him. He runs it in for a touchdown. Now, I can say we've been doing knots in a week for a number of years now, Mac. I don't think we've ever had a team submit 4 from one game.
4 knots.
4 knots.
It's a lot of knots.
I mean, Delran offense scored 3 touchdowns in this game. They didn't have to go on the field very often.
No.
I know some of these guys also play offense, so they treat defense like offense. I can tell you that. I saw them score on defense when I saw them play against Burlington Township.
How about you're doing the knot segment? Rod's yelling at me because I'm screaming as it's going on, telling kids to keep the ball in the proper arm, looking at trying to tell the kids to get to a sideline.
Hey, look, Chrissy LeMay's in here. Says, great show. Haven't watched in a while. Love the new background. Everything looks great. I agree, Chrissy. And Michael was a knot guy.
Oh,
I think
Mike
he just
had
had a knot the other day.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Congratulations, Michael.
He still has a nose for the ball, doesn't he? He can fly when he gets it, too.
I mean, you talk about a kid who just had a knack for making a big play.
Yeah.
He was excellent.
Right.
Excellent player. Hope all is well.
I know you didn't cover his older brother, Will, but Will, not different type of player.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive end, tight end type, just nasty, mean in a good way. Probably 10 years older than his brother.
Do you like to think of yourself as a linebacker or as a coach?
In what context?
In general. You attack the day as a coach? You pretty cerebral? Or do you attack it as a linebacker? You want to run right through it?
Depends on the situation,
Okay,
Triv. I hate to, give it to, there's some things there's some times in my real world where I need a linebacker attitude. And there's some times where I got to take a breath and act like the coach that I was. I think sometimes I got a little, I don't know, I didn't get crazy. I wasn't too on the sidelines. I wouldn't be called cerebral on the sidelines. I wasn't arms crossed.
You were a linebacker.
Yeah, when it got time to it, but me and Woj had to keep each other in check too.
Yeah, you did.
You had you can't have two knucklehead linebackers running up and down the sidelines.
That's true.
So when you're D coordinator,
Coach Hendricks was the even keel one of your.
Henny was that, yes. And you got every staff got to have some up guys, some even keel guys.
That's right.
Don't want too many it'll never work guys.
Yeah.
Don't like the it'll never work guys.
Yeah. Big shout out again. Let's talk a little college football. Chris Baker throws us in here. Kutztown, the Golden Bears, number 3 in the country, undefeated. Lots of South Jersey guys getting it done. I know our guy, Sharky Burkhart. My niece goes to Shepherd College or Shepherd University. And my brother said, we went down there for Parents' Weekend, and they played Kutztown. They got blown out. I said, well, Kutztown, very good. Know many of those kids. So congratulations to the Bears as they keep going.
They got some dudes.
Yeah, they absolutely do. All right. Well, we got a weekend preview ahead. We're going to talk about the game of the week and go over our best 11 rankings. So sit tight, stay tuned, share the show. Appreciate you guys in here. Everybody's getting into playoff mode. I can feel it. Everybody's all lathered up and ready to go. So sit tight, stay tuned to the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. The West Jersey Football Coaches Association was established to promote, improve, and unite football in South Jersey. In less than 4 years, the association created the Battle at the Beach and has dedicated itself to helping others. The association has donated close to $100,000 to date to provide scholarships through the National Football Foundation and the Touchdown Club of Southern New Jersey. The group has also donated to the charity Philly Faces, which helps those in need of facial reconstruction surgery. Thank you to the West Jersey Football Coaches Association for their sponsorship of the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by Capstone Medical Services, a dedicated team of experienced healthcare professionals with a strong presence at the youth, middle school, high school, collegiate, and post-collegiate levels. They specialize in athletic training services and sports medicine for youth, high school, collegiate, and adult sports, event EMT and paramedic coverage for events and gatherings of all types and sizes, ensuring everyone's safety, injury prevention and workplace injury programs for commercial and industrial organizations, American Red Cross training, ideal for coaches, youth group leaders, church organizations, businesses of all sizes, and school districts. At Capstone, they are committed to delivering exceptional medical services that exceed expectations. No team will work harder or more passionately for you or your athletes. They proudly serve athletes of all ages, schools, businesses, and event organizers, ensuring the health and safety of every individual in every setting. Whether on the field, at work, or during special events, Capstone's here to protect, support, and serve because your safety is our top priority. To learn how Capstone Medical Services can support your school, organization, or event, call 855-EVENT-CMS or visit capstonemedicalservices.com. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by SRA Home Products. South Jersey, let me tell you about my friends over at SRA Home Products. SRA has been building sunrooms, pergolas, and patio covers for over 25 years. They've built more than 9,000 projects in the Delaware Valley alone. And I've had the opportunity to be around Mike Fody, the owner, and I have nothing but the best things to say about Mike and his crew. SRA is a gold-accredited member of the Better Business Bureau under the elite provider status with Home Advisor, and they've racked up a number of Best of South Jersey awards in the past. They also contribute to multiple sport associations and are huge supporters of Williamstown football. Find them online at srahomeproducts.com.
Enthusiastic about football? Become a part of the NJFOA South Football Association and team up with us to officiate high school football. Join us on the field. Our cadet class kicks off in March. Register on our website or by scanning the QR code in this ad. Put the stripes on and join us on the gridiron today.
Welcome back, New Jersey football fans, to the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. Preview the games that are coming up this weekend. As I said, there's only 2 weeks left in the regular season. Playoffs are right around the corner. All right, so let's talk about Thursday night. You got a couple games here. Cherokee at Millville, 6 p.m. The Cherokee team lost to Williamstown. You got a Millville team that I think it's their senior night. They're going to be at Wheaton Field. Two teams that really they want to feel better about themselves as the season comes to a close here. A game that these teams have a history together. They've played some classics over the years. So that's at 6 p.m. Gloucester at Haddonfield at 7 p.m. Haddonfield had the week off after taking care of business against West Deptford a couple weeks ago. You got a Gloucester team, scrappy, put together some nice wins this year. Hubbard putting up some big stats. Had a great defensive effort last week in their win. But a week off for Haddonfield, and you got the sense watching Haddonfield against West Deptford, they were finding themselves for this stretch run. Mike Keenan, heck of a player, number 3. So that'll be a good game on Thursday night at Haddonfield, 7 p.m.
It would have been my dad's birthday. Or it is his birthday, but he would have been 96.
Yeah. Well, he probably would have been in one of those games. I mean, couldn't get enough.
On a Thursday night? Absolutely.
Yeah. Friday.
He'd be
He'd be there.
Absolutely. He probably wouldn't have driven down that Millville. He'd go to Haddonfield game because he's right there in his backyard.
Friday, Mainland at Winslow, 6 p.m. These teams have a history. A couple years ago, Mainland, we talked about this last year, Mainland really gave Winslow a blueprint on what it meant to be a champion when they rolled over them in the sectional final, I believe it was. Winslow took that and ran with it, and they've been excellent ever since. So green and white. You got a Mainland team that's been, exactly what exactly are they? They've been playing good football as of late. Winslow's been playing pretty good football all year after the first few games when they had some juggernaut opponents. So that's at 6 p.m. Seneca polls 6, 7 p.m. These two teams have shared division here for a couple of years. They played some good games as well. Tarico.
Always a great game.
Yeah, you got Klecko running the ball last week, get 3 touchdowns on the ground. And then you look at what Tarico did, 4 total touchdowns, 415 yards of offense, 416 yards of total offense. He's had an excellent run of it this year for the Golden Eagles. That'll be a great game at 7 p.m. Also at Haddonfield, right? Delsey at Williamstown. Interesting subplot here. We mentioned Williamstown, what they've been doing. We mentioned the tough week Delsey had last week, having to play 2 games in 3 or 4 days' time. But Delsey, former head coach Sal Marquez, who's now Williamstown's offensive coordinator and soon to be St. Joe Hamilton's head coach, but not until after the season. So Delsey comes into Williamstown. That's at 7 p.m. Also, those 2 towns are not very far apart, Franklinville and Williamstown, and there's a lot of familiarity down in that area. Salem at Woodstown, 7 p.m. Big rivalry. Woodstown's a crazy place to see a game. It's always fun there. They'll be ready to welcome Salem. So 7 p.m. If you're down in that area, you want to see a rivalry, I think that's the one you should go to. Saturday, you got West Deptford at Paulsboro, probably for the division title, 11 a.m. Paulsboro comes in undefeated. West Deptford lost 1 game, and that was against Haddonfield. Should be a good one. I think they play for the Governor's Trophy. The Mayor's Trophy. 11 a.m. at Paulsboro. RV at St. Augustine. Coney, big game last week for the Hermits. Hermits piecing things together and always have a great defense. RV, second game back with Savion Adams.
Why at noon?
I don't know. I didn't make the schedule. I don't know.
I mean, I know why Paulsboro's 11 a.m.
Yeah. So RV at St. Augustine at noon. Game of the week, Mac. Let's talk about it. Not always preferred to have the same team featured in the game of the week, but I think when you look across the games this week, it's very clear what the top game is.
This is the game of the week.
And that is Kingsway comes in with 1 loss. It was at Camden. I was there. It was a game they had right in their midst, and they dropped it late. It's a game they got past that. They've done well. Orvet's a quarterback. Danick has put up big numbers offensively. Tough kid. The defense always good with Coach Hendricks, as we know, and everything that he does. So Kingsway.
Henny not only defense, Henny knows his offense too.
Yeah, he knows it all. But I'm saying his defense is always prepared. Right?
Yeah, the defense is prepared. Offensively, because he's so good on defense, he sees the cracks.
Yeah.
On when they have the ball as well. So.
But what cracks is he going to see from this team he has on Friday night, which is a tall task? Washington Township Saw them last week. Again, they're the game of the week, undefeated at home. A game where these teams have crossed paths a lot. It's been pretty one-sided right here recently. This is a big one for seeding in Group 5. It's a big one in terms of what's the statement. It's a big one in terms of if they cross paths again, what does that mean? It's a big Group 5 game. Washington Township hosting Kingsway, 6 p.m. Friday night. That'll be the game of the week right underneath the water tower. If anybody's going and has not been in Washington Township, I'm just going to tell you this one time. The cannon's going to go off after they score. Be ready for it. Don't let it jump you.
If Henny's up to Henny, that cannon doesn't go off at all.
Well, there you go.
By the way, shout out to Henny. His son Jack committed to Delaware to play lacrosse. I know there's I know Denick's going to Rutgers. We talked about that. But Jack Hendricks goes to St. Augustine. He's committed to go play really good right-handed midi attackman going to play at Delaware.
Congratulations.
Current junior right now, class of 27.
I think it's going to be a great game, Mac. I really do.
Well, no doubt. Because, look, Washington Township has now gotten back to that space where they've been year after year back, decades ago, right?
Yeah.
Where that town, the folks that live in that town says this is where we should be in Washington. We come here. This is what we do in Washington Township. We play football. We don't build another school, even though we have 8,000 kids in it. We just keep building it longer and wider so we can keep right. We want to be. Yeah. They want. No two schools in township there, Rod. They just keep expanding because they want that. They didn't want to lose a guard possibly to Washington Township East or West, right? True story. And then Kingsway, which at one point was a Group 2 school, with the development down there, Mulligan 322 and houses everywhere. Henny goes back home and has. He's been there 10 years now.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's nuts. And now, it was like this with Kingsway, right? Now he's won a couple sectionals. Mm-hmm. They're a perennial winner. Yeah. And, top to bottom, everything they do as a program, they're going to be prepared. Their kids are going to play hard. You're not getting on his field unless you're a tough guy who can play. No BSing around. Henny can play himself. Henny knows the game. He's played the game, and he knows what it takes. He knows what it requires to win games. And I'll tell you, that's a fun atmosphere because it's not good. You can't. It's a coin flip.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. It'll be a great atmosphere. True South Jersey Group 5 football, right? It's going to be awesome. I got to say, two guys who. No one has a bad word to say about Henny or Schatzman. Great guys. Always see them. Saw Schatzman on Monday night, the Unsung Hero Banquet. Kingsway also was there. Guys who get it. Guys who have built programs that are their communities, their programs. Everybody can be very proud of, not just on the field, but off the field.
Both places. You go to the game, everything from you walk on, the way the band, the cheerleaders, the snack bar, the stands, the fans, the parent support. You show up at the fields and you're just like, we can, I don't want to leave anything out, but you go to them in South Jersey and you're like, wow, this is a cool place. Like, they got this thing going on here. And both these teams are. And
it's kind of a mirror situation to when they both came in. Township was kind of down a little bit. He comes in and he builds that program up. Same thing with Hendricks. It's just mirror programs, and they've been kind of going back and forth with their success.
Well, they're both South Jersey guys. Played South Jersey football. Schatz is going home, coaching at his alma mater. Mm-hmm. Henny was a option quarterback at Deptford, and then tears it up and plays at Rowan on their national championship run teams with Casey Keeler. And they both, he's coming home, so to speak. I know his wife's from that area. They got a great community feel down there, and it's fun coaching in your backyard. And they see the people at the Wawa, and everybody knows who everybody is, and it's it's a big school in a small town, so to speak, with Kingsway, and that's and then they go up the township, and that's always been the kind of the big brother, right? But
Right.
and the other township's got the bigger school to this. I have friends that live out of the area now, and they're like, "What? I can't." They hear Kingsway. I'm like, they're like, "What? Group 2, right? They had that really good running back." I'm like, "Nah. They're Group 5 now. The old." They don't shine shoes anymore. They are big time Group 5 football, and they're a fun team to watch.
I think for Kingsway, it's a great litmus test. I mean, one way or another, because the Camden game, they're right there. Since then, I mean, they won a game at Timber Creek. It was a crazy game. They ended up coming back, scoring a lot of points in a row, I think. But Delsea, Camden Eastside, Hamilton, Clearview, they've given up 6 points in their last 4 games, but they haven't played the level of competition. I mean, they want to see, okay, we've had a while here since that Camden game. Let's see what we got, right?
But what that says,
and Williamstown next week for Kingsway.
Right. What that says to me about points given up is they're doing what they're supposed to do
right.
against teams that may not be on the same level as them, right? You're supposed to go in, dominate, show what you can do and not make it a game. And they've done what they're supposed to do. Now they have the test coming up the next 2 weeks.
Right, the most?
Yeah.
What's the most points they let up in a game?
I think it was that Camden game.
How much? How many was that?
21. They give 21 to Timber Creek next week.
Right. Yeah, so to Rod's
Tighten the
point.
screws since then.
To Rod's point, I mean, they play who's on their schedule, but when they play those teams that are lesser type teams, they squash them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like 50 to 21. It's something to 0.
To 0.
To 7. It's like, let's shut this team out. Don't let them think, don't let them think they can hang with us at all.
It's an interesting game, interesting subplot. Like you said, if you look at the atmosphere, the event of it, if you came and said, we're gonna do a documentary about high school football, you'd say, well, I would go to Washington Township to get your B-roll footage.
Yeah,
right?
No doubt.
Like that's the scene.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
That's what you think about in your head when you're thinking high school football.
Right. You want to, if you live in Township, you want to hear the cannons. You want
homecoming at Township 2 could be Township homecoming. Whew, could be a long halftime. There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
We've had some Township events.
Yeah. Best 11.
As long as you're notified prior of what time the event is and how things are happening, that's when it doesn't bother you as much.
6 p.m. start, though. Best 11 rankings did not change. Everything remains static for those. Let's just go ahead and list them out. We'll start at 11. Haddonfield was on bye. They play against Gloucester this week. Cherry Hill East takes care of their rival, Cherry Hill West, with ease. They had a night of the week. Go back and watch that. They are number 10. Atlantic City, number 9. Marvin Burroughs keeps slinging it around. They beat Eastern by 19 last week. Kingsway, number 8. They won 63-0 against one of their rivals, Clearview. And we'll see them on Friday night against Washington Township. Cedar Creek rolled past Lower Cape May. They continue to put up big numbers. Dunbar puts up big numbers. Campfield, but freshman Bethea puts up big numbers. Seems like Cedar Creek really just keeps getting better. Burlington Township at number 6. They're also in Group 3 where Cedar Creek is. It'd be interesting to see how the playoffs shake out for them. They beat Hopewell Valley on Saturday. Aiden Binns, another big performance. Defense did what they needed to do. Eddie McNair, the freshman, throwing the ball around a little bit there. Hopewell Valley beat them last year in the regular season, so Coach Everett gets revenge on them. At number 5, you have Camden. They played on Monday against Timber Creek and took care of business. We didn't go over that in the scores, but they beat Timber Creek. What was the score on that, Rod?
I thought it was 12 or 14.
12-0?
Yeah.
Something like that?
14-0.
I know Duckett had a long touchdown run for the Panthers there at number 5. Glassboro's at number 4. They won 42-0 last week. St. Augustine's at number 3. They also shut out their opponent last week, which was Lenape. They play Rancocas Valley on Saturday at noon. Washington Township, number 2, beats RV 38-17. And Winslow, number 1, beat Eastside 50-0. It was 12-0. But think about this. Winslow gave up 0 points in their game. Okay? St. Augustine gave up 0 points in their game. Glassboro gave up 0 points in their game. Camden gave up 0 points in their game. I think Cedar Creek gave up 0 points in their game. Kingsway gave up 0 points in their game. Hadfield was on bye, so they gave up 0 points also. Pretty good.
Usually pretty good teams got pretty good defenses.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. You know, the big stuff's on the way. We know that. It was a great show. Happy as always to bring it to you here on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Rod Self and his company, D2 Sports Network. You see this on YouTube. It's on D2 Sports Network. He gets it all done here. If you need anything from him, contact Studio B or Rod directly. He will make it happen. You need photo shoots, you need audio, you need podcasting, you need video, anything you need, Rod will take care of you. Can't recommend him enough. Hey, man, look, things are
shaping up. We'll know seeds. We'll figure out Northern, whatever that means. Maybe the state changes the name. Maybe the state changes the name to South 1 instead of Central. We got some guys. We got some friends up. We got guys.
I don't think we're going to have any voicemails from the people who set the rules up because I know they don't have my number because if they've called it, I'll give them my 2 cents to begin with. But, you know, it's what it is. We'll play this thing out, see what we like and don't like about the new system. I'm sure we'll find something.
What's the saying? More flies are caught with honey instead of vinegar or something like that? I mean, why do you got to be so caustic?
I'm a linebacker, Mac. I'm not a coach. And with that, we're going to bid you adieu this Wednesday night from the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend. Stay warm. Watch some football.
I was taller.
You were taller. Good night.